Welcome everybody. I am Jasir Franklin, founder of Heal PTHD. What is that? Well, it stands for post-traumatic hood disorders. I know, something new, right? Tupac once said, everybody in LA got a little bit of thug in them. Well, I grew up in LA and I didn't know I had thug in me. I just knew I grew up in a very toxic environment, but I didn't know how to categorize it. It wasn't until I went to a therapy session after a huge breakup, right? I had a huge breakup. I had this woman I loved so much and wanted to marry. We were supposed to get married even. We broke up a month before the actual wedding. It broke my heart. So what happened was I didn't have anybody to talk to because, brothers don't have anybody to talk to when they going through their stuff. We just got to carry it, and no one really asks and checks on you and see, hey, Jasir, how you doing with the breakup, bro? You all right? You cool? Like, nobody asks you that question. They just think men automatically got to just take it, especially when you're from the hood, because nobody even deals with their trauma in the hood at all anyway. One day I'm at a barber shop, and I look across the street, and I see this therapy session place. I was like, I didn't even know that was there. But I just kind of like blew it off. Went inside and I got my hair cut. While I'm getting my hair cut, I started thinking about it. Like, maybe I should go over there and talk to somebody. So I walked across the street after I got my hair cut and I walked in and I scheduled an appointment. I came in and I sat down with this lady. She was from Brentwood. I'm from South Central. Two different worlds. But she gave me a chance to speak my truth. And when I came to those sessions, I had a chance to put my life on the table for the first time in my life. And for the first time in my life, I realized that this stuff's not normal. She kept trying to coach me through the conversation. Then when I walked out of that last session, I put my back against the wall and I just looked in the sky. I was like, wow, I have post-traumatic hood disorders. Now, mind you, this was about 18 years ago. I had no idea what to do with that. I then went through a transformation from a spiritual practice that I do called Ifa. And in Ifa, they talk a lot about the Ori. What's the Ori? The Ori is your mind. And your mind is where God had the brilliance to plant your purpose. And everything around it is supposed to protect your purpose. So the traumas that you go through or the brilliance that you go through will either feed it or recede it. Me going through this training, it started teaching me about how we process trauma and how emotions get involved and how our logic is in constant battle with our emotions. Our emotions are located in our gut. Most people tell you to follow your gut feeling, but your gut feeling is just your emotions. Logic is here. Feelings is down there. It's constantly at a battle. Without that balance, you make nothing but bad choices. And when you're in the hood, you constantly are up against these things because everywhere around you creates this dysfunction. I got initiated into Ifa 2018. Ifa revealed some things about my life that I found that were awesome. And there were some things that it made me scared of also. At the time I was married, it did tell me that my wife was going to do something that year that was going to be really bad, that could potentially break us up. 9 months later, she did that thing. I'm not going to reveal what it was, but she did it. We broke up. When we broke up, it was bad for me, y'all. I'm talking bad for me, right? When we broke up, we lost the house. I almost lost my car. I had to go move with relatives. When I moved with a relative, I had a grandmother that was there. I moved with my auntie. And my auntie's mom, which is my grandmother, which I really had no relationship with my whole entire life. She was in the next room that I was in, but she was dying. So the whole time she's there, family members are coming over that I hadn't seen in I don't know how long, if ever. And I'm feeling like the outcast in my own family because I don't know these people because I hadn't been around. It's my father's side of the family. So my father wasn't really in my life. So I wasn't really in that side of the family's life either. So, but here I am at this stage of life, returning to them under these conditions. All while trying to figure out my own personal life after I just had gone through a divorce, right? So, long story short, I hold my grandmother's hand as she passes away. I hold her hand as she passes away. She passes away, and I'm still trying to figure out my life. I'm going through everything, trying to get out of my family's house and try to get into my own space, trying to get my car off the repossession list, trying to go through this divorce, trying to get this stuff finalized. It was a lot, y'all. I'm going to the gym every day, though. But the gym is not working no more. I'm feeling depressed, and I don't know it. I get an EFR reading, and they tell me that, stop everything, y'all. This man, we can lose him if we don't do some work for him. We have to do this huge ritual. It costs like a lot of money. They told me to stay in the house for 17 days. Couldn't leave the house. So that day I had to go buy all kind of food and make sure I didn't have to go to the store too much. If I had to go, I could, but I couldn't really leave the house. So I stayed in the house. And while I stayed in the house, a friend of mine was sending me this information on Ori. And I'm studying it. And it started to hit me about this information. I found one passage, this African proverb that told me that no deity can go where a person goes everywhere. They won't follow you everywhere. It's about the person's destiny that they need to figure out for themselves, that a deity can attach themselves to help that person to fulfill that destiny. And that's when the light bulb went off. That's when the light bulb went off. Now, me studying Ori, from there I went into Ori studies hard. Like I was studying everything I can get on Ori. I even started a class called Ori and E, or the power of Ori. I taught that class for like 4 years. So me studying the class, you know what they say, when you're teaching, you're learning at the same time. So while I'm studying this stuff in this Ori, I'm teaching these classes, I'm learning more and more. I'm like, oh man. So for me teaching those classes, it lead me into studying psychology. I started grabbing books and reading books and studying how psychology, what they say about the mind. And I'm like, whoa, they both say the same thing. One day I'm in Atlanta, I'm teaching a class, I'm talking to a person, I'm coaching her actually, or re-coaching. And we're talking, she's telling me where she's from. I think she was from New York at the time. And she's telling me her story, what she's been dealing with. And I'm listening to her story. And while I'm listening, I'm putting everything back together. This lady has PTHD like me. I'm like, whoa, this is a better situation. Now I can reach more people with this same ideology and reach people to where the people who look like me, who come from these places, who do not have a voice, who do not know they have PTHD, can now have a voice. I put PTHD together. I identified my hood-based traumas, and I identified that the hood that I come from is filled with people who have hood-based traumas also. I don't care if you come from LA. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're in Philly. I don't care if you're in Chicago, South Side. I don't care if you're in Atlanta. I don't care if you're in Houston. I don't care where you at in this country. Sometimes this world, if you come from an underserved hood, if you are living between or inside the red lines, you get it, hint, hint, redlining. If you live in between the red lines, anywhere in this country particularly, you have hood-based trauma. You are dealing with post-traumatic hood disorder. The question is, when are you going to choose to heal it? For me, it was a therapy session that opened up the door. For me, it was returning back to spirituality that fed that that therapy session for me. It watered that information, and then it sprouted it and gave me more wings to be more courageous, to step out on a ledge and do something different based upon where I come from. Because where I come from, we don't deal with these things. But I always wanted to live differently, and I made that choice. Are you ready to make that choice? Are you ready to renege on everything you once knew? Because change can't come unless you are that bold enough to renege on what you once believed in, what you once seen as truth. Hey, there's a better life for you. Your beginning does not have to be your ending. I hope you see what I'm saying. I hope that what I'm saying resonates, and I hope it makes you or pushes you or urges you to go to healpthd.com right now subscribe, reach out to one of us, come to a hood summit, sign up for a Renege program, sign up for a Rewire program, put your kids in Check the Rhyme. Do something different if you want something different in your life. I hope this reaches you. I hope this touches you, and I hope this moves you. I'm Jasir Franklin of Heal PTHD.com, that is.